Found it. Okay. Ooh, everything's falling at me. Hi friends, welcome back. Today we're gonna do a recap of how our TBR went for February. This is our TBR game that we kicked off a couple of weeks ago. This is the progress that we made on the TBR shelf and the TBR game that we tried to do, which actually I think was pretty successful. This definitely made going through my TBR shelf way more enjoyable. It took the pressure off too, and it just had me constantly going through a rotation of the books. I finished 4 books just straight off the TBR this month. Y'all, I don't think I even touched 4 books last year from my TBR shelf. So obviously the game is working. I did make some slight modifications to the rules just to better fit me. So that, if I can say anything, if you're gonna try to gamify your TBR shelf, be fluid. Just because it didn't work out one month doesn't mean it can't work out for the next month. So I'm telling that to myself, actually. I'm trying to convince myself so that March, I keep an open mind and we make some progress. The rest of this video, I'll talk about the progression of like drawing the names and what the experiences was and how I finished it, the time I finished it, DNFing one of them. I actually pulled 6 books for the month and I only finished 4 of them. So the ones I wanted to talk about real quickly that we ended up going with is Kingdom of the Wicked by Carrie Maniscalco, Serpent in the Wings of Night by Clarissa Broadbent, Sierra Simone's Saint, which is book 3 in that series, and then Does It Hurt by H.D. Carlton. These 2 I self-chose. I don't know why I'm holding it like that. These 2 I self-pulled off of the shelf based on the other 2 that fit right here in the middle that I ended up not following through with this month. Little bit of context. Pulled these 2. These were wins. Grade A for this experience. Started off extremely strong. Pulled 2 more to keep going. Hated both of them. Didn't hate. That's an aggressive word. I tried to do The Courting of Bristol Keats, and I just went in with the wrong expectations. I think I thought the story was going to be one way, and then the first like 20 pages just were not it for me. I don't think it was bad. I just don't think it was the right time. So I did put that back on the TBR shelf so I could attempt to do it again. If I draw it again, great. If I don't, maybe later down the road. The other one that I actually ended up DNFing, I gave it like 60 pages, and I don't think it was the book for me. I don't think it was the time for me. But I had no interest in going back to it. It is one of my ebooks. This is Remnants of the Guilty by Ashlyn. Would I try again? Maybe. Do I think that's gonna happen in the next year? Probably not. But that was one of my rules. That was one of my rules of I'm not gonna force myself to read something and not enjoy it and then the entire experience plummet. And you wanna know what? I busted out 2 more books after that because then I self-pulled Saint and Does It Hurt. I said, I'm mood reading. I wanna feel what I wanna feel. So I just went through, did a little quick scan, and I ended up pulling both of these. I'm glad I did that because it kept the experience going. Did it feel like cheating? A little bit. Is it cheating because I made the rules? You're right. It's not cheating. So hang tight with me for a little bit. We'll talk about the books that I did end up finishing. We'll talk about the books I did not end up finishing. We'll go through my thoughts, my feels. You can check my Goodreads and my Fable for that. The link is down below in the description. Also, if you're interested in any vlog style of reading the TBRs, if you want to see any sort of like reactions in real time, comment down below. Let me know if that's something you're interested in, because that's something we can add in. Because this one, yeah, I was legitimately sobbing at like 2 a.m. trying to explain to my husband how heartbreaking it was. Hey, just want to let everybody know that the pre-series by Sierra Simone, what the is going on here? Yeah, the one about Aiden Bell is by far the most heartbreaking. So, if you haven't read it, you really should. And without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, well, that was surprisingly much easier than I thought it was gonna be. So, I finished Kingdom of the Wicked and Serpent and the Wings of Night. That title is forever going to throw me off. Finished Kingdom of the Wicked in maybe 24 hours, maybe 2 days. I finished this very, very quickly. I could not put it down. It was really good. But it also was really short. I think it was only like 300 pages. Yeah, like 350. And then The Serpent and the Wings of Night was so good. I'm actually kind of mad at myself that these are sitting on my TBR shelf, which means there's gold in here, and I'm feeling much more motivated than ever to actually make it through this shelf. Hi, future Jordan here. Shiny as a donut. I think this comment is hilarious because it is so unaware of what's in store. The first two picks were so solid. The next two picks were not absolutely, and I almost lost hope in the game. So just a tidbit. Both of these have been finished, which means now we need to draw for additional TBR books. I think I'm going to draw 2 more because right now it is, February 19th? I think I could probably finish at least 1, maybe 2. I did start Saint by Sierra Simone organically. It's on my TBR shelf, but I went ahead and started the audiobook just because I was really missing the characters in this book. So I'm not going to count this because I started on my own without drawing it. So technically, that is a 3rd book on the TBR. I'm killing it right now. I'm so proud of myself. Let's go ahead and draw for our next one. Again, I think I'm gonna draw 2. This was the best idea I could have ever had is starting this game. Okay, I think this is gonna be another TBR physical. Ready? Those cracks are so good. Ooh, okay, this is Kindle Pick. Oh, I'm under stress right now. So reminder, Kindle Pick is, you have a log for all of my ebooks and I wanna just do a random wheel. I don't wanna just go selecting through them. I want to be forced to be surprised. So I am gonna put the Kindle Pick back in to keep going. I actually need to find my list. Oh God, I don't remember where I put this list. It's gotta be around here somewhere. I do have my random wheel, but I had a list. Found it. Okay. Ooh, everything's falling at me. So I have my Kindle TBR list. Again, there are 32 books currently on this list. We are going to do a random wheel to tell me 1 through 32. I have added 1 through 32 on our random wheel. We're gonna spin and see what it gives us for our Kindle TBR. Okay, this is number 10 on the list, which correlates to Remnants of the Guilty by Ashlyn. I'm gonna go ahead and pull for the 2nd book in my TBR pool, and then I'll read the summary and the synopsis, and then the Goodreads and the Fable ratings right after. Number 2, this is the Hopeful. This is a February Hopeful. Okay, this is The Courting of the Bristol Keats, and that is a physical copy on the shelf. I gotta be honest, I'm a little nervous for this one. I think I've heard some tough reviews on it, which again, I'm a dummy reader, as I've told y'all before. So the likelihood that I'll love it is pretty high, but I think I just bought this one strictly because the sprayed edges, let's be honest. I mean, I needed that on my shelf immediately. This is kind of thick. Is the font big? This is 500 pages, so this is a hopeful. So Courting of the Bristol Keats. Let's go ahead and look at what the Kindle Pick is about. I couldn't tell you. Remnants of the what? The Guilty by Ashlyn author. I think it's just Ashlyn. I don't think Ashlyn has a last name that they go by for their author. It is spicy, so we're about that. This is only 323 pages, so I definitely can get through that. Looks like it has a 4.18 on Fable. Okay, I'm gonna have to be real selective on my words here, so bear with me as I read this. This is Remnants of the Guilty by Ashlyn. Dylan St. James is the Fatal Five's most prized possession, the leader's little sister, and the most untouchable girl at Stone Edge University. She's the girl that all the boys want and can't have, and the girls love to hate. That's a confusing way to put that sentence. That is until one night, one race, and everything changed. Being selective on words is really hard. Given medication she didn't consent to. Eaten with a B, an R word. They thought they were smart. They thought she wouldn't remember, but the men who hurt her also walk the same grounds that she does. Day after day, they spew taunts and threats, thinking they would get away with it, but little did they know she's a unaliver too, and she's out for revenge. But she can't do it alone, and she tells only one person that she trusts. Easton Daniels, her brother's best friend. Yes! The most lethal of the fatal five. They really thought that they could get away with what they did, but they were mistaken. Yes, yes, yes. They might have the jump on me, but nothing could prepare me for what's to come. They have no idea that touching what didn't belong to them would cost them their lives. She is mine, a part of me, which makes her part of us. The fatal five are one, and messing with any of us will have an outcome just as it sounds. Fatal. I can tell that this is going to be trash, and yet the best trash ever. What would you do if one person you trusted the most hid a plan in plain sight? Lying to you day in and day out, leaving you with remnants of the guilty. And once everything implodes, how do you forgive and forget? So this is an MF dark, brother's best friend, college days romance. It does not end on a cliffhanger. Part of an interconnected standalone series. And this book is adult content. So, as you could probably imagine. Sick, cool, great. All right, so that is gonna be up next. I'll literally start that tonight. Now on to The Courting of Bristol Keats. Okay, this is fantasy. It's got a 3.74 rating on Fable. After losing both their parents, Bristol Keats and her sister struggle to stay afloat in their small, quiet town of Bowskeep. When Bristol begins to receive letters from an aunt she's never heard of who promises she can help, she reluctantly agrees to meet and discovers that everything she thought she knew about her family is a lie. Even her father might still be alive, not unalived, but kidnapped by terrifying creatures to a whole other realm, the one he is from. Oh, desperate to save her father and find the truth, Bristol journeys to a land of gods and fae and monsters. Pulled into dangerous worlds of magic and intrigue, she makes a deadly bargain with a fae leader, Tygan? But what she doesn't know is that he's the one who drove her parents to live the life on the run, and he is just as determined as she is to find her father. Unalived or alive. I mean, it sounds good. This says it's a New York Times bestseller, so I'm hopeful for that. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, that's a hopeful. May or may not get to that, to be honest, but we're gonna give it our best try, and we're gonna see how we do. So, Remnants of the Guilty is gonna be a DNF. I'm gonna take that as a sign that I overshot pulling another 2 for the month. I got like 50 pages in and it was just not grabbing me at all. It took me like 3 hours to even read 50 pages. Yeah, and I don't think I'm gonna put it back on the shelf. I don't think I have any interest in trying again. Just like mumbo jumbo, just like a bunch of potential plots thrown in the first 50 pages. Like there were a lot of different plots that I was like, what's our main objective here? What is the main point? Because then when I read the actual synopsis, there are parts in the synopsis that I was like, I ain't even got to yet, which means there's gonna be more. So it just felt way too chaotic and way too crazy for me personally. Like there was just way too much going on. I just was not excited to pick it up again. So it's on my Kindle. It's one of my ebook picks. So it's on my Kindle. I'm gonna leave it on my Kindle. And maybe way down the line, I get really desperate and I want to try it again. I'm hopeful. Yes, I am hopeful for today. I can assure you this year, that will not be the case. So I'm canceling that one, which means I still have, what was the other one I picked? Something Keats. What is that one even called? What is it called? Oh, I don't. This is like PTSD for the disco ball and those lives that one time. Y'all remember that? The other one we were reading was The Courting of the Bristol Keats. I don't really want to pull another one because I don't want to be disappointed in myself if I don't finish them in February. But I also am not really like super excited to pick up that one. The caveat here is that I did pick up Saint, which was technically on my TBR shelf, and I'll definitely finish that one. So like I guess it's like a replacement. I don't really know. I'm debating. I don't know if I could hear that and if that disturbed you, sorry. I'm debating if I want to pull another one just to try to get something that I was super excited for. Super bummer that I started so hot and heavy with The Serpent and the Wings of Night and Kingdom of the Wicked. Those were 2 bangers. Those were winners. So for now, I'm not going to draw another one. Another update. I didn't want to read either of those books. This is the first obstacle we are running into of this challenge. Month 1 was great. Wait, we're still in month 1. First 2 books were great. They really were. The second 2 books I pulled, not the best ones, not our best options. So I bailed. I bailed on both of them. One, I'm gonna DNF and like take off the list. Like I don't want to try to read it again. It just was not for me. The second one we're putting back on the shelf, which is The Courting of Bristol Keats. It just didn't grab me. I tried. I read a couple of pages. I went in with the wrong expectation. With a word like courting, I thought, olden days, ye olden days. First page, she's putting on jeans. So just went in with the wrong expectations, and I'm just not in the right mind frame to read it. And you know what? That was one of the rules. Where are my rules? Rules are somewhere. Rule was, don't force yourself to read it. If you're not enjoying it, you're not enjoying it, right? So we're bailing. I pulled 3 books off the shelf that I am interested in. I'm still rating Saint, which technically was not pulled, but was on the TBR. So I'm still technically doing great. I'm still reading at least 1 TBR at a time. Like, you know what? I'm still making my way through, you know? I'm still, have 1 book in rotation. Saint by Sierra Simone is in rotation right now. I pulled 3 that I am semi-interested in / called to me off the book. Does It Hurt by H.D. Carlton. How Does It Feel by Janine O'Reilly. And then A Forbidden Fate by Kaven Herning. I think out of these 3, Does It Hurt is the one calling to me the most, because I just need some dark and unhinged, honestly. So that's the one we're going with right now. Let's see if we can finish it. What month is it? February? Yeah. All right, let's wrap this bad boy up. We did great. I did great. I did so good. February, our very first month of the TBR game, I read 4 of my TBR books. 2 of them are technically books that came out of the cauldron, and 2 of them are self-picked books. Wait, didn't I have a Kindle book? No, I DNF'd that. That's what happened. I'm gonna keep better tracking of it next time. I kind of just was going for the vibes and trying to make progress. 4 books off my TBR shelf. She's a slave. That's not even the right book here. That's the right book. There we go. The first book that I pulled out of the cauldron was Kingdom of the Wicked. I finished that in maybe 2 days. The next book that I pulled is The Serpent in the Wings of Night. Oh my God, that one had no business being on my TBR shelf. Let me be clear. After that, I kind of fell off. I pulled 2 books from the cauldron to continue, and I didn't want to read either of them. I tried. I did try. I just don't think I went in with the right expectations, and I was coming down off of a high of The Serpent in the Wings of Night, which it didn't set me up for success. So it's a try again book. The other one that I ended up DNFing, and I probably won't come back to, I tried on that one. I gave it like 65 pages of trying to get into it, and I think I just had a lot of, I don't want to say plot holes, because I didn't give the entire thing a full finish, so I don't know if they actually addressed it. The flow of the plot was just not working for me. It just wasn't my thing. It just wasn't for me. And instead of forcing myself to read something that I'm not enjoying, I said I was going to put it down, and I'm okay with that. I did Saint by Sierra Simone, and then I also did Does It Hurt by H.D. Carlton. I'm glad I picked both of those up, because at least I continued on with my game, right? And it gave me a little bit of the mood read. I got to pick whatever I wanted to read. Saint by Sierra Simone, I need to do a quick moment of silence for this book, because the sobbing and heartbreak that I feel like I went through with this book, don't get me wrong, Tyler and Poppy and Sean and Zinni, 2 incredible stories. Nothing prepared me for Aiden. I was not prepared. I was not prepared for the heartache that was Saint. Incredible. Incredible. My favorite one of the series, easily. And then Does It Hurt by H.D. Carlton. I'm a little confused on that one. I wrote on my Fable / Goodreads review that I was confused, !, ! LOL. I didn't think it was bad. I had a good time. I read the whole thing up in like maybe 2 days, but just a little confused. I felt like they were 2 different books that were smashed together. I feel like the first half was meh, and I just didn't really enjoyed. The spice was spicy. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed the spice completely, but the plot was meh. I don't know what it was. Then the second half, honestly, just the last 100 pages. The last 100 pages is what took this and made this bearable for me. I was debating putting it back on the shelf and maybe trying to revisit on the first half. And then it was like page 313, maybe. That number is sticking out to me. 313 or 315. The like literal, like the shift that took it from like what it was in the first half to thriller, mystery, anxiety inducing. That was the shift where I actually really enjoyed the book. But because of the first half, I'm not going to say it was like a 4 or 5 because I had to make it to that point. So I did enjoy it. It just was a journey, right? I feel like more could have been done with it. I didn't hate it. It just was fine. So I finished 4 books in this month's TBR. I will draw for my March in my next video, and we'll see what kind of progress we make. If you want to see all of my reviews on all of the books that I consumed in February, you can check out my Goodreads page or my Fable account. Both of those are linked down below. If you like what I'm doing, if you like what I'm saying, if you like what I'm covering, think about hitting that subscribe button. Like, comment, share it, and I'll see you in the next one.